is a little tarot pop-up. I decided that's what I'm going to call them, a tarot pop-up, because I can pop up at any time or at any place. The beauty of having work that you can do at home. Not everybody is cut out for it because there are lots of challenges with working out of your house. But for those of us who find it a necessity, it's a blessing what's available to us to share our work with you. So today we are having a reading around money. I do get a lot of questions and requests about money because doesn't it seem like everybody always could use a little bit more? But today's person, Marilyn, wrote me an email at my email address down here. I'm trying to keep it in sight because she wanted to have a personal card reading for her regarding finances. And because she brought that theme to me, I've chosen her question to answer in a general way because who of us hasn't had times when money has not been available? And we've all had to stretch. I like to watch Shark Tank. I love to watch those investors, how they choose who it is that they want to work with. That's really fascinating to me because they're very no nonsense. And if you've never seen it, take a look. But they don't let people be unrealistic about their idea, and I respect that about them. But one of the things that I want to do here is to bring those of us together who've had some kind of money challenges in the past, because sometimes desperation creates desperate actions, doesn't it? So Marilyn is in a pinch right now. I think if she were watching, and I hope she does, tune in because this is her day. She's in a pinch. Some of her circumstances around her bills and her money are not matching up, and she's feeling overwhelmed. And so I'm not going to go into the personal details because that's the beauty of a collective reading. If you have never had a financial worry, you don't need to listen to any more of this reading. But if you've had financial worries in the past, this is the place to be. Because Marilyn brought this issue to the table. Do the cards have any advice for a time when cash is short and you need to do something like replace your car or get an expensive car repair, something like that, an unexpected expense when you're not when you're not expecting it, duh. But at any rate, so what we did, I decided, I was thinking about the tarot deck and thinking, what is it that I know about it? And what I know is the number 4 is the number of stability. Okay, and so I think at the end of the day, if you asked yourself why you want the sum of money, why you want the better job, why you want to shift your money story, it would be because you want to feel more stable. Stability is more of what I call a core desire. Yes, money does seem to bring stability, but there's a lot of millionaires who are not stable emotionally or their families are falling apart. So money does not guarantee stability. And so that's what we're bringing here. I want to give a reading for Marilyn. Her reading will come at the end. I will do a special reading just for her, and you guys can certainly watch along because I know we all have commonality in experiencing some money worries. So these are our 3 piles. I selected the Emperor card from 3 different decks because I wanted to use the number 4, and the Emperor is the number 4. Very stable energy. Okay, so we're going to play this game a couple of ways. The first is take a look at the cards just by their back and let yourself be drawn to one of the backs, one of the card backs. Okay. Then I'm going to flip them over in a minute and let you see them and see if you want to change your mind, which you certainly can. But wouldn't it be interesting if the card that you're drawn to here, it's the same magnetism on the other side? So let's take a peek here and see our card number 1 is the Emperor card from the Animal Tarot. Okay, and we see it says structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take on a leadership role as you have much wisdom to offer. Okay, that's pile number 1. Pile number 2 comes from the Guardian Angel deck. The Emperor, again, same energy. Look how different the art is. Isn't it beautiful? Organization, leadership, and structure. Look at the details. What pops out at you? Okay, and our third choice is from the Angel Wisdom Tarot. And this one, again, logic and organization will increase your success. Take charge of the situation. Accept a leadership role, structure, and discipline. Okay, those are our three piles. The intention of this reading is to call to your mind any kind of disappointment, betrayal, or hurt feelings you had in the money arena, because that's the part that we want to move today. We want to plow up any dry ground in the garden of your financial future and plow it up so that it's ready for new seeds. When you are at the end of your rope, you have to let go. Isn't that a corny but delicious saying? And there's another saying, and that is, when you've painted yourself into a corner, there's only one way out. You can't go out the way you came in. The only way out is up, and up is into spirit. So, welcome, pile one, and thank you all for listening into today's reading. What we're looking for today are just some messages of comfort. It is no fun to be on the ebb side of the money flow. When money dries up, it's not fun. It's hard. You have to really suck it in, and you have to cut back your expenses, and you have to live smart. You have to be able to plan a future. But if you have a lot of broken dreams, broken wishes, some of the promises you've made to your own self, you might have broken. And so that's what we're after here. Now, I've picked my tarot of the cloisters because it's round, and round is anything circular is healing. Okay, so I picked these cards, but they're very surprising cards because they are made of broken pieces. So I'm just giving this as an example. In order to create stained glass windows, there has to be breakage. When the sun shines through a stained glass window, it makes beauty out of the broken pieces. Okay, so that's why I picked this deck. Six of Wands is you're making progress here. People are noticing. Okay, I just picked this random from the deck, but as I go through the piles and I ask for the wisdom of the Emperor energy, which is stability, because if you're on this reading, you want to know where your money is, right? And if you're not doing the kind of work that gets you paid enough to get what you want, what could be in the way? What is it? And today, it's not necessarily comfortable to look for the brokenness, but that's what we're doing, because you wouldn't be here if you were not a brave soul. All right, so let's pick our three cards. Okay. Take a deep breath, everyone. And let's see what our cards have to show us. And we have the Ace of Swords. Oh, come on. Wow. Pile one. You're seeing yourself too small. Okay. I don't think I'm the first person to say that to you. And I think when you hear it, you're like, no, 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 you don't understand. I don't want to be big. I'm content to be small. And if you're not aware of that, chances are there's a part of your mind that wants to stay small and a part of your mind that wants to grow big, and you're stuck on that tug of war. Okay? And the last one, Three of Pentacles. Okay, this is wonderful. So, pile one, you can prepare to be busted in only the best way. I really love the art on this particular card because I've never seen an emperor in such a small little depiction. I've never seen that before in any tarot deck because it's unassuming. It wants to hide, right? This little creature, this little deer mouse is content to hide. But my friend, in order to begin flowing in finances and begin to tap the well, where you just have to start a trickle, you need to face the fact that you need to get out. All right. I may be speaking to a person who's very shy, or I may be speaking to a person who has a physical condition that demands that you stay chained to the bathroom. I mean, you know what I mean? There's some reasons people have to stay home that are a little bit, well, they're just so personal, and nobody needs to understand why you're doing what you're doing. But there has to be a way for you to create some interchange with your 3D, what they call the 3D world, the world we're walking around in. The spiritual world, the energetic world, the world where we do our dreaming, has a different sort of energy, but it doesn't often pay the bills. I'm what you call a gig worker. Over the last 15 years, I've done lots of different things. House sitting, for example. I have a friend who's doing dog walking, and she's knocking it out of the park because her city needs dog walkers and it pays quite well. I'm also a writer, and I write for other people's websites. I can research and write a good article. So if you are skilled in an area that you're not using, the universe is clearly saying you need to start something. With this Ace of Cups, that's the card of the Holy Grail. That's the card of the universe or God saying, I've got your back. I've got your back. You have some gifts and skills right now that you're not using. So, best advice, write a list of all the different things you've done to earn money since you were like 12 years old. Write it down and look closely at that list. Which ones were the most fun for you? Which ones did you enjoy? Good grief, you might have enjoyed cutting people's grass. And there may be a service right now you can do just like that for cash. Today, I talked to a woman who knows someone who works for Walmart. They deliver the groceries for people. They earned $1,000 last week. And I'm in Tennessee. Okay? So there's ways that you're not aware of yet that you're going to see, oh, yes, there is a way to generate a little revenue here. There are services right in my city. People without cars or people who can't drive need delivery service. You can find a way to serve your community right now to get a few shekels, a few coins in your hand. The universe is not asking you to create revenue of thousands and thousands and millions of dollars. Heck, $10 would be a blessing, right? So, what your message is, pile one, is you are seeing yourself too small. You cast a big shadow. The skills that you have are marketable. So, do some personal inquiry. What is it you can start right now? A skill you can do to help people. Another idea comes to my mind. Hardly any restaurants or small businesses like bookstores have any knowledge of the internet. I have another friend who walked into area businesses and asked if she could help them set up their Instagram account. I'm not even kidding. And they said yes. And some of them, it was in trade, like for a manicure, like they would trade manicures for getting them online, helping them set up their Facebook page. All right. I feel that's very specific for someone out there. Now, let me grab my blessing deck. I don't want y'all to get bored. I never want anyone to be bored on my readings. However, I just love this deck so much. And I want to pull one card for you, pile one. My friend, you reminded me of me. Because I'm very shy. I like my own home. I have to drag myself out to be in public because I just, I prefer my own company. But you know what, though? The universe is working on me, too, and tapping me on the shoulder and saying, Catherine, get out there, be more social. So that will always help, making eye contact with people. And then you'll be so surprised how opportunity will find you. A lot of times success is just built because you're in the right place at the right time. Okay? So here's your blessing. Honor your soul path and step into your authentic self. Let your intuition inform your pathway. you know what? This is very exciting news for you, part one, pile one, because I see that there's something in your past when you're unboxing. It could have only been a hobby. You may have liked making cookies. There's something in your past. You're missing it. There's a skill back there that you can use. All right. So let's see, pile one. Be sure to let me know or email me and let me know if you have any questions about this, which reminds me, Marilyn, my now new friend, she's the one that brought up this topic. So let's everybody put your hand on your heart and let's thank Marilyn and send her a blessing, because this is a wonderful reading. And for her reward, I'm going to draw cards just for her at the end of the reading, so she'll get personal cards. So thank you, Marilyn. Let's go to pile two. Now, I must say that for many people on the reading, they're going to look at pile two and think, now that's what I'm talking about. I want that kind of influence in my life. I would love to have somebody like this who is so balanced and relaxed, is able to take charge. I want that when it comes to my money life. I want to have that kind of confidence. Pile one didn't resonate with you at all because you don't sense how could leadership come out of a mouse, right? Well, talk to shy people like Bill Gates, and I would say he had a huge impact on the world as a mousy kind of an energy because he's just prefers privacy and he's built a gazillion, right? So let's go forward with pile number two, which is this beautiful emperor, but it's not a human, is it? It's an angel. So that is a reminder to you, pile two, that even though you're confident and you are sure of yourself, you know what you want, the fact is that you can get a little top heavy. And by top heavy, I mean you can be a little bit too confident. And then sometimes a project might crack or something may not work out. It might not be easy for you to be patient. And so the reminder for you, pile two, is that you do have a silent partner in your angels and guides and the divine, and to remember the size of that partner. This is my symbol to remind me always that I really have to, when I get discouraged, it's always because I'm not looking at my problem the same way my higher self is. My inner being is the God connection. My inner being is where peace lives. When I'm aware of this connection and embracing it, I'm at my best. So pile two, you have the world by the horns. You have so much talent. And this current drought, it's like you're having a drought. This current drought is partly because you have not aligned as closely as you can with this inner being of yours. Remember, when you're feeling discouraged, when you're feeling low, yes, get some good music and put it on. I'm just hearing that song by Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Wow, that just came into me like a bridge over troubled waters, goosebumps on my shoulders, all right? But it just means that if you're feeling off, it's because you're looking at your problem in a different way than your inner being. You might say, but Catherine, you don't understand. If I don't get a car payment in by next week, they're going to come and take it. And I'm like, I understand. That's what your point of view is. But your inner being might say something like, even though there's a problem with this car payment, I'm going to choose to trust that this is all going to work out. It's almost impossible to take that in, isn't it? Because of the strength of the worry. And I hear you may be a fire sign, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. Just there's such a strong energy here. And it's hard to be humble enough to ask for help. So, round deck for you, my dear pile two. Let's see what we have here. What's the wisdom behind this? And we have Temperance. And again, if you're just joining me, I selected this deck particularly because the greatest success stories in the world have all had to pick up the broken pieces of dreams that don't work. And they have to pick them up and make something beautiful out of them, period. Just like a stained glass window in a church. Walt Disney, famous, everybody hears these statistics where he had to go to 300 different banks before somebody would stand behind him. J.K. Rowling and wrote to countless editors, and Harry Potter was thrown into the trash. They didn't want it. In fact, it was rumor has it, maybe it's an urban legend, that there was some clerk who picked up Harry Potter out of the trash and took it to the publisher and said, "Don't throw this away." I think that's true. I hope it's true. But see, there's great heartbreak behind any success. And you know that's true, pile two. Knight of Pentacles. Beautiful. Let's just pull all three here before I storytell. And the Emperor. All right. So I always find it, there's a word that's used in Asian astrology, and it would be auspicious. I love that word. I love saying it, auspicious. But the fact that the Emperor shows up twice shows me the significance of it. You really want to manifest stability, pile two. I believe it's a core desire of yours, that in everything you've done, you've taken a risk with your stability. You've invested in some things that were not quite what you thought it would be, but you have a desire to create stability. So part of what you need to release yourself from, pile two, is some of the mistakes that you made. Let's unbox those mistakes you made that you perceive hurt you financially, because there's always a lesson in every loss. And do you know how you make a prototype? I was speaking to a very interesting person about prototyping, and he said you can remake your idea 100 times, creating the prototype to take to a company and try to sell it. And then that's what we're not doing with our money failures. We're not looking at it like a prototype, like, well, why didn't that work? Let me look into it. A lot of times it just gets into blame. Well, it was because that guy screwed me, or it was because that manufacturing didn't work out. And the reality is there was something to adjust. So that's what the universe is calling you to. Make sure you slow down and really count the cost. Count the cost with your money, but also the cost of risking your stability, pile two, because stability is your core desire. It truly is. You and your inner being both embrace on the idea of sustainable stability. And if you're in it to win it with me, hit that thumbs up, hit the heart, join this energy. You are so supported by the angelic. You may even have some help on the other side. You may have someone in your family may have been quite successful and really understood how to be organized. All right. Call upon those energies that are in your past. Write down on a piece of paper, please, the times in the past when you've taken a risk and it didn't work. Understand that you only risk for stability. You're taking a chance on it. But just go through those and do some work. You'll see right in the description box, I already put the magical money machine, but it's a tool for you to really dump and complain and be able to get rid of mistakes that you feel you've made. I feel like pile two, you're very hard on yourself. Too hard on yourself. You need to round out all these sharp edges. Mistakes happen. People like Mark Cuban or other, he comes to my mind, I find him to be a hero because he's no nonsense. I do like to watch Shark Tank, but I think that one of them said, if you don't eat peanut butter and crackers for a month, you don't know what it's like to be an entrepreneur, where you're willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. You have that energy. It's just that you've gotten a little out of kilter and carrying a little bit too much weight from some, I'm going to call them perceived failures in the past. Okay, pile two? So let me grab my beautiful little Avalon Magic deck, and let's draw you a blessing, pile two. Sharp dresser. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Let's see what's the blessing. Access your deep feminine intuition and allow new possibilities to flow. So, yes, I would say that really does kind of correspond here, because you may be a person who has an overabundance of male energy. That's the producer. That's the do it, do it, do it, accelerate energy is the male energy. Not supernatural, universe. Well, it is supernatural, but the universal male energy, and the universal feminine energy is receptivity. It's being able to take something in. So I feel like that the mismatch you've had might be because you have been just a little bit too productive and not enough rest and let it be energy. So I hope that that's meaningful for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. If you have further questions, definitely email me, because I would love to answer your question for you in a reading, just like I'm doing right now for Marilyn. Marilyn will get her reading at the very end. The reason I'm giving her a personal reading is because she asked this question about when you're having severe money challenges, how can you approach it, and for watching for what it is that you're truly looking for. And usually it's something deeper than money, right? And so for pile 3, we have this depiction of the emperor. So let's take a look. And this really reminds me of Archangel Michael. So I'm just going to claim that I feel like it's Archangel Michael. Just I see that blue glow around his head, and that is his color. And so one foot on the ground and one foot on the stool, to me, just shows me that there is that eagerness to support you. So pile 3, I sense, hang on. I sense this readiness about you, pile 3. I'm trying to find the words. Let me just take my cards. There's a settledness. There's the word resigned. Like I'm resigned to this. I'm going to be. And I'm just, oh, this is so interesting. Look at how there's a hand coming through the curtain. I've never noticed that before. Oh, okay. So, okay, pile 3, this is what I'm sensing. I'm sensing that you are ready to take some action. There may be a job you're ready to take. There's maybe been an offer that's coming your way, and that you are depending on a sign. Okay, so I think there's somebody watching. You may have even said that, I need a sign. Am I supposed to take this position? Okay, so I love, like right now, if you're just joining me, what I did was I selected this deck because it's made out of broken glass. And there's a lot of pain in the past about situations at work that don't work out. People might steal your work. You might have to share tips with everybody, and totally not fair, because what's his name does nothing and you do everything. You know what I mean? But there's something here that's somewhat troubling, and in your past. And that's why I selected this deck. But what I'm seeing here is like this expression on this face is identical. Okay, I have to hold that up so you can see it. Look at how those faces, look at that one. See? So to me, that's resignation, not in a bad way. It's just peace. It's like, yes, this is a yes energy, where it may not be exactly what you're wanting, but it's definitely a yes for now. When I look at him ready to step off, so I feel like with this, when you take this position, pile 3, even though it may not be exactly what you're looking for, but it does get you a foot in the door. It's always easier to get a job if you have a job. All right. So there definitely looks like the work you've done to become at peace with your situation, you are really achieving that. There's such a duplication of energy here with the King of Swords supporting the Emperor. So let's grab another. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful. A lot of times people get upset when the 3 of Swords shows up in in a reading because it just is heartbreak. And to me, it just validates what we're doing here today. And so if this reading, if pile 3, if you're enjoying this, if you had not heard pile 1 and pile 2, I would go ahead and give yourself that, because who of us hasn't had heartbreak over money? And just coming to grips with that and being at peace with it is really what this is all about for you. So pile 3, I just feel this humility from you. I feel peace. I feel that you have let life kind of beats you up, but that you're never giving up. And I feel like you are needing to kind of step into something that's not your highest good, or you feel that way. However, you have to realize that baby steps mean everything. There's even a Bible scripture that says, despise not the day of small beginnings. So pile 3, I feel like whatever opportunity comes forward here for you, remember this reading. Remember that everything is a stepping stone. And what you experience in this new position is going to give you a skill set to carry forward. Remember, anybody who's watching, if you have a skill set you're not using, that's what we need to investigate. When you're independent like I am, I can do several things pretty well. I've done house sitting, I do garden care for people. I love to fuss over flowers. And sometimes you'll end up doing that for nothing, that the person invites you over for dinner because you fixed their garden. There's a lot of going back and forth that feels good, that has nothing to do with money, right? A lot of ways that we can care for one another. I mentioned in pile 2 that delivery services are very popular right now. And wherever you live in the world, there are probably wealthier people that want to have their stuff brought to them. Okay. And I live in Tennessee, which is not one of the places in the world that's super wealthy, but one of the people in my community made $1,000 last week delivering for Walmart. So sometimes if you're thinking that what you're needing is not in your grasp, it might be you just need the humility to admit you don't know what's coming next, but you have skills that you can use right now. There are people that need you. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else. Oh, the Ace of Swords is a victory card. It's interesting that the King of Swords, which shows mastery. So you definitely have a skill set that people need, and somebody's going to come calling. And when you accept this position, you may feel very humble because it's not something that makes you jump for joy, but the angels are promising that if you faithfully do the work, learn the skills that are there, it will only serve you in the future. Another affirmation that I like to use during times like this is, today I'm one day closer to my ideal position. Okay? Today I'm one day closer to my ideal position. It doesn't say that your position right now is bad. It just allows you to accept it. Okay? So this card popped out of the deck while I was shuffling. The rabbit is known for fertility. So again, to me, it shows me a softness of energy around this emperor. The emperor is the number 4, very stable, but there's a gentleness here that's very different from the other piles. So let's see what this card is. And it is, life will support the vision you have for yourself. Make it the best it can be. So you are supported. There's good coming your way. Say yes if you can to what it is people ask of you, even though it's just a stair step to your ideal position. Okay, pile 3. Unboxing the things that are holding us back is a clever trick of the universe, I think, because money is very motivating. And you know what? I'm just looking at this card. See this circle, this maze that goes round and round and round and round, in a way that makes me think, pile 3, that your thinking has just been you think so hard about how to do it, and you're not realizing you have enough skill to do it. Okay? So, and now we have Marilyn. Marilyn, my dear. Marilyn, what are we going to do? How am I going to do this? Let me grab. Okay, just want to step over here for my darling Marilyn. And I'm going to pick this deck. That's Murphy. He probably felt my energy when I picked up the cat deck, and he went, "Arr." I need to get a dog deck, actually, is what I need, because I know there's a lot of dog lovers. But I'm just going to find you, just excuse me a minute. I just want to find the Emperor here. Okay, gorgeous. Oopsie. So I'm just going through that. One of my favorite things is to go through the decks and just see. In fact, that's what I'm feeling I want to do for you, my dear Marilyn. I just want to go through here and find. Thank you for your patience, because I want to do a little bit of a different kind of reading for you, Marilyn. I do sense, oh, nice. Okay. I do sense that Marilyn has watched all the readings so far. Usually the people that are in my live readings, they do watch all of them, and I so appreciate that. So Marilyn, I picked out of this deck, I've picked the Emperor card, okay? So what I did was I picked the cards that are on either side of it and kind of using the cards themselves to create your path of wisdom here. And you know what, Marilyn, the very first thing I want to say is let's start a new affirmation, and it will be let's see, how would we want to change? Oh, I am on the path to financial well-being. I am on the path to financial well-being. I'm on the path of financial well-being. Either one of those, whatever feels best, because that's the truth. You are right now. You want to be on the path of well-being when it comes to money. So this is that law of assumption, speak it before it comes. Now, if you want to look in the community page on my channel, I already put 2 resources in there. One is called The Budget Girl. She's outstanding. And the other is a lady named Lynn Richardson. Both of them are brilliant when it comes to money recovery. Okay. So those are already in the community, so you can take a peek at those. But you do have to realize that you are sitting right where you need to be. All of these are, I'm going to say they're books. And each one of the books represents something that you need to learn, Marilyn. Because when your money comes back to you, because it always does, money always goes up and down. And Marilyn, when your money comes back, you want to know how to manage it smart, right? You want to be able to stretch your money as far as it can go. You want to be able to save the right amount, and you just need some education. There's nothing embarrassing about that. Most people do. So in the community tab, you're going to find 2 excellent resources, so I highly recommend. Now let's take a look at the cards that were on either side for you, because I love how you said, let's ask the cards for their advice. Okay, so first we have the 4 of Swords. Okay, remember that 4s are the sign of stability. So one of the things that I know that will help you, Marilyn, is just to start praying for stability instead of money. I know that kind of is counterintuitive because you feel like you would like to have more money, but the reality is what you're really wanting in the core of your being is stability. You can say a prayer like, God, please bring me stability with money attached to it. But remember, the core desire of stability is really what's trying to come through this reading for you. And remember that your divine connection, the part of you that's connected to God, loves you every day, all the time. This represents your little you, your personality, the part of you that lashes out or gets reactive, basically just wants to understand that you're always connected to the divine. The 4 of Swords is showing us that your worry is holding you back and it's causing you to lose a lot of energy. So the call for you is to rest. And yet you would probably say, I can't rest. You don't understand. I have to figure this out. Let's just see what else for you, Marilyn. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Wow. So this is the Magician card. So, Miss Marilyn, what do you do? What are your skills? What's your skill set? I hope as you listen to the readings, you felt inspired to make that list. Write down everything you've done for money since your first job. My very first job was as a babysitter. I think I might have been 13 or 14. But write down all the different things you've done for money. Do it, take your time, couple days if you want, and make sure you don't forget any of them. Then you go through the list, and on a scale of 1 to 10, you allow yourself to rate those jobs in terms of how much fun it was. So yes, it might have paid great, but if you hated it, it would be like a 1. You just hated it. But if it was very fun and you would have even done it for free because it was so fun, that would be a 10. And then go through that list and just cross off any that were not at least a 7 of fun. My favorite success story from my little life here, Catherine, little grandma from Indiana, is that I read a book called E Squared back in 2015. E Squared is by Pam Grout, and they're energy experiments that you can do to prove that your mind has some power. I love that book. Well, I had so many phenomenal things happen that I wrote her an email and I told her about it. And the main thing was that in E Squared, she said that if it's not fun, it's not sustainable. That you cannot do anything, even tarot readings, if it's not fun. It's not sustainable. And so I was stuck. I was in San Diego and I just could not motivate to do anything except take my dogs to the beach and rest. And so it made 0 sense because my room was a disaster. I rented a room with another person. I didn't rent a room. I rented a room in someone's home, and I got to close and lock my doors so nobody could see the messy, but it was so messy. And I thought, this can't be right. It can't be right that if I do nothing but fun, my life will work out. But I couldn't help but put her theories to the test because I was enchanted by her book, E Squared. You got to look it up. Anyway, what happened was, and you want to get the 10th anniversary copy because it's got an extra experiment in it when you look it up. But one day I was home and I just put some music on. And when the music was on, I got inspired to clean my bleeping room. And so, long story short, when I told her that whole story, she decided she wanted to interview me. Pam interviewed me to put me in her book about Thank and Grow Rich, and how if you live it out, that you only do what's fun for you and you stay grateful, that your life can change. And she put me in her book. My story is right in there. The hard copy, it's page 92. And she wrote about my life in her book. That was the best manifestation ever, Marilyn. I didn't see that coming. What it did is it created such a change in my life because people continue to find my name and my website in that book. So I can't promise you something like that will happen to you, but I can promise you that once you start eliminating the things from your life that are not fun, and also to do some work around the heartbreak in your past. In the comments box, excuse me, yeah, I'm going to put the timestamps, but in the resources in the description, there's something I call the magical money machine. You got to try it. I developed it about 10 years ago because I had so much heartbreak over money and I had nowhere to go with it. And I created something, and I hope that it helps you, Marilyn. So let's draw 3 quick cards for you. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I will be doing pop-up readings, live readings. I try to get on every morning at somewhere between 10 and 11 Central Time, but depending on what's going on in my life. And then pop-up readings whenever I feel like it. So Miss Marilyn, here's your last. Let's clarify here. And we have the 9 of staves, 9 of wands. And we have the 7 of wands. So lots of work, huh? Lots of struggle energy here. And the 10 of wands. Yeah, wow. Okay, so this is wonderful. Marilyn, you may look at this, and if you know tarot, you're like, holy smokes, there's a lot of suffering going on. There's a lot of burden energy. But the good news is this is all the fire energy. So you have bubbling under the surface, Marilyn. You have a lot of fruit. It's like there's something within you that is right there at the surface. There's something you're good at that you don't realize. I have a feeling that there was something you did as a kid. where you were good at it. And it's something that people could use today. That you have been through so much tempering, like with tempering, that's when they're making steel and they have to temper it. It's not pleasant for the steel to go through the tempering process, but it makes it extra strong. So what I'm seeing here for you, Marilyn, is that you have the ability to turn this around for sure. Please take in advisement when you're praying to pray for stability. It's okay if it comes in the form of a car or comes in the form of your house or all the rest of the things. But trust me, I think that when you start connecting with your inner being and being grateful for every bit of stability you have, I would recommend that highly. Thank the divine for stability. Walk around your house. I am so grateful. I'm so stable. I'm grateful for the stability I have. And then do that audit, write down everything you've done from the time of your first job, which of those were most enjoyable, and then look around right now. Is there something you can do to help someone else using that skill? All right? That's been the secret to my success, because I don't write as much right now for people because I'm too busy speaking my stories. But every bit of what I've been through, every single job I've had back from the key punch days, you guys don't even know what key punching is. You can Google it. But I have seen that being in the right place at the right time has saved me time and again. All right, so Marilyn, let's pick one of our Avalon Magic cards for you. Ooh, I love this card for you, Marilyn. Okay, so this reminds me of the Holy Grail, which is that reminds us there's only one source, and that's God. Okay, there's one source. The Holy Grail was supposedly the chalice that Jesus used in the crucifixion, but people miss the point. It's not the Grail, it's not the chalice, it's what's inside of it. So, no question, Marilyn, you're in the right place. You're accepting your limitations and you're willing to do whatever it takes to find that stability. There is a skill set that you have, and I know you're going to find it, the right steps. Heal through changing your story. Begin in this moment and don't look back. Excellent advice. When you use the money machine, you're going to see that it invites you to complain about your current money situation. It invites you to dump out all of the blame, all of the hatred. You can see sometimes, you never even realize how much ill will there is out there towards people that are just doing their best. And we don't mean to hurt people with our words, it's just that we're frustrated. So when you use the money machine and you're able to just dump your old feelings, you're going to feel great relief. Now, I do tapping, energy tapping. Also, on the community page, you'll find tapping resources. Please use that page at your will. All of that stuff is free of charge. And if you have any questions or you'd like me to read cards for you, email me, please. I would love to hear from you. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I do hope that these readings will help you unbox some of your mysteries around money and why it might be hiding from you. Contact me with any questions, okay? So I will tell you, go forth and prosper. I love you dearly, and I will see you on tomorrow's reading. Bye now.